The Donald Trump Center for Addiction and Other Shit for the Courts LLC, also known as the DTC, has come under fire for its controversial methods of treating addiction. Several former patients have accused the center of brainwashing them into becoming die-hard supporters of President Trump. I went into the DTC to get help for my drug addiction, but instead I came out as a Trump-loving robot, one ex-patient said. The DTC, which is owned by a close friend of Trump's, has denied these allegations and has even gone as far as saying that their treatment program has a 100% success rate. But some reports have shown that former patients have developed symptoms of Trumpism, including wearing red hats and chanting "Make America Great Again." The center has also been criticized for using Trump's speeches as part of their therapy sessions, claiming that it helps patients find their inner strength and determination. Despite these accusations, the Trump administration has expressed support for the DTC, with the president himself stating, "They're doing a tremendous job, tremendous. Really tremendous." The DTC has also recently announced plans to expand their services to include a Build the Wall addiction treatment program, further solidifying their ties to the Trump brand. Critics are calling for an investigation into the center's practices, but for now, it seems like the DTC is here to stay, with a steady stream of patients willing to undergo their unique form of treatment. The small town of Redwood Falls, Iowa was in a state of chaos as rumors spread of a planned public execution of weed pot addicts on February 30th. The news was first reported by local radio host Wally, who claimed to have received insider information from the campaign of presidential candidate Dr. Brock Landers. The shocking announcement sparked outrage and fear among the community, with many people taking to the streets in protest and vowing to stop the execution from happening. However, things took a bizarre turn when Wally took to the airwaves once again and called everyone who believed his story stupid dodo heads. He then revealed that there is no such thing as February 30th, and that he had made the whole thing up to prove a point. It turns out that Wally and Landers had conspired together to spread fake news in order to show how easily it can be spread and believed. Landers, who is known for his controversial and unconventional views, saw this as a perfect opportunity to show the dangers of misinformation and the need for critical thinking in today's society. In a joint statement, the duo explained that they wanted to see how quickly people would believe something without fact-checking or doing their own research. While many were relieved that there would be no public execution, others felt angry and betrayed by the false news. Some even called for Wally and Landers to face consequences for their actions. However, the two stood by their experiment, stating that it was all in the name of bringing attention to the issue of fake news and encouraging people to fact-check information before spreading it. As for the weed pot addicts, Landers clarified that he has no plans for their public execution or any extreme measures against them. In fact, he has even announced plans for a new program to help those struggling with addiction. "We want to focus on rehabilitation and not punishment," Landers stated in a press conference. "It's time to move away from outdated and harmful practices and start looking at real solutions to our problems." In the end, the faux news event caused quite a stir in the small town of Redwood Falls, but it also sparked important discussions about the role of media, and the responsibility of individuals in consuming and sharing information. Wally and Landers may have caused chaos, but they also shed a light on a serious issue that needs to be addressed. Presidential candidate Dr. Brock Landers has announced that he will no longer be speaking for himself. Instead, he has appointed his trusted advisor and loyal friend Wally to be his official spokesperson. "I have complete trust in Wally to articulate my message and handle all public appearances on my behalf," said Landers in a statement released by his campaign. "From now on, I will be the puppet master and Wally will be the puppet." This announcement has caused a stir among supporters and critics alike, with many questioning Landers' ability and credibility as a presidential candidate. Some have even accused him of being a mere figurehead controlled by Wally. However, Landers remains unfazed by the backlash and stands by his decision. "Wally is like a brother to me, and I trust him to represent me and my values," he stated in a recent interview. Wally, a former circus performer and motivational speaker, has already made his first public appearance on behalf of Landers. He dazzled the crowd with his charming smile and smooth talking, but some were left wondering if he was simply spouting empty rhetoric. Despite the doubts, Landers' campaign continues to gain momentum, with his supporters proudly wearing Wally for President buttons and in Wally We Trust bumper stickers. Only time will tell if this unconventional strategy will ultimately lead Landers to the White House, but for now, it seems like he has found his perfect partner in crime in Wally Magolly. On this momentous day, Wally Magolly, local town crier, made a shocking announcement. He stood on the steps of City Hall, ringing his bell and gathering the attention of the townspeople. With bated breath, they waited to hear what news Wally had to share. "I bring news of great importance," Wally declared, his voice booming across the square. Dr. Brock Landers, esteemed presidential candidate, has spoken out against none other than President Donald Trump. And he did not hold back, my friends. The crowd murmured in anticipation, wondering what could have sparked such a bold statement from the well-respected Dr. Landers. According to reports, Landers took to the infernal machine known as Twitter and called out Trump, calling him a dodo head, Wally continued, relishing in the shock and awe of his audience. Can you believe it, my fellow citizens? Our own president being called a dodo head by someone who wants to take his place. This is truly a historic moment. The townspeople erupted into a frenzy of chatter, with some expressing shock and others nodding in agreement. Wally, knowing he had their full attention, continued with his announcement. But that's not all, my friends. It seems the feud did not end there. Trump responded to Landers' attack, saying he had never even heard of him and calling him a liberal attention seeker, Wally exclaimed, gesturing dramatically to the crowd. To which Landers swiftly replied, I may have been a porn star in my past life, but at least I didn't buy my way into the presidency. The townspeople gasped at this scandalous statement. A porn star running for president. Who would have thought it possible? But wait, there's more, Wally cried, his excitement growing with each passing moment. Landers even challenged Trump to a physical fight, claiming that he could take down a scrawny old man like him. And supporters of both men have taken to the interwebs, defending their chosen candidate with hashtags #TeamBrock and #TeamTrump. The crowd erupted into shouts and cheers, showing their support for their favorite candidate. But Wally wasn't done yet. Word has it that the Secret Service is monitoring this situation closely, fearing that it may escalate into a physical altercation, Wally announced, his tone becoming more serious. But one thing is for sure, my friends. Dr. Brock Landers is not afraid to speak his mind and take on anyone who stands in his way. Whether it be zombies or the President of the United States. The townspeople were in awe of this bold and fearless candidate. Perhaps he was just what the country needed in these uncertain times. As Wally finished his announcement and the crowd dispersed, the town was abuzz with talk of this historic moment. And who knows, this Twitter feud between Dr. Brock Landers and President Trump may just go down in history as the turning point in the upcoming election. Only time will tell. Presidential candidate Dr. Brock Landers has announced that he will no longer be speaking for himself. Instead, he has appointed his trusted advisor and loyal friend Wally Magolly to be his official spokesperson. I have complete trust in Wally to articulate my message and handle all public appearances on my behalf, said Landers in a statement released by his campaign. From now on, I will be the puppet master and Wally will be the puppet. This announcement has caused a stir among supporters and critics alike, with many questioning Landers' ability and credibility as a presidential candidate. Some have even accused him of being a mere figurehead controlled by Magolly. However, Landers remains unfazed by the backlash and stands by his decision. Wally is like a brother to me, and I trust him to represent me and my values, he stated in a recent interview. Magolly, a former circus performer and motivational speaker, has already made his first public appearance on behalf of Landers. He dazzled the crowd with his charming smile and smooth talking, but some were left wondering if he was simply spouting empty rhetoric. Despite the doubts, Landers' campaign continues to gain momentum, with his supporters proudly wearing Wally for President buttons and in Wally We Trust bumper stickers. Only time will tell if this unconventional strategy will ultimately lead Landers to the White House, but for now, it seems like he has found his perfect partner in crime in Wally Magolly.
Wally Magolly is a name that needs no introduction. Formerly a beloved member of the iconic boy band Neighbors Next Door, Wally has now evolved into a force to be reckoned with as the running mate of Dr. Brock Landers, a prominent presidential candidate. Passionate about creating a society free from the influence of harmful substances, Wally Magali has taken on the leadership role of the Weed Pot Destroy Task Force. With an unwavering dedication to eradicating the use of weed pot, Wally is committed to protecting the well-being of our nation. Recent revelations have brought to light some top-secret transcripts, showcasing a moment of weakness for Wally Magali as he engaged in misguided banter about Dr. Brock Landers while under the influence of weed pot. While these transcripts have caused a stir, Dr. Brock Landers has chosen not to address the matter at this time, maintaining his focus on the issues that truly matter to our nation. As the Wally Magali campaign moves forward, rest assured that the commitment to a brighter future for all remains steadfast. Join us as we stand with Wally Magali and Dr. Brock Landers in their pursuit of progress, unity, and a nation free from the clutches of weed pot.